Do you wear a mask to fit in to your environment? Do you pretend you're something you're not so that your friends, your family will accept you? Do you hide parts of yourself for fear of rejection or ridicule? Are you living authentically or inauthentically? Are you being who you truly are? My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach and I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse. We have certain aspects of our personality. And Carl Jung calls our persona the part of ourselves that we show the world, or the part of ourselves that is perceived by others. And sometimes this is a false personality. We put on a mask so as to be accepted by others. We put on a mask so as to fit in to this world, to feel accepted. From a very young age, we've got certain role models, we've got our parents, we've got friends, we've got family, and we try to be what they want us to be. We try to be what fit into their rules, fit into their box, because we believe that that's what will make us feel accepted. And this comes to any kind of a rejection or abandonment wound that we might have as well. We fear being our true selves because we're afraid to be persecuted, ridiculed, or shunned. We're afraid that people will reject us or won't accept us. So we hide certain aspects of our personality just to fit into this world. But when we live inauthentically, this doesn't just hurt ourselves, it hurts the people around us as well. When we suppress parts of ourselves, this is very unhealthy and we end up hiding stuff in our shadow. And our shadow, if left unchecked, is going to come out in anger, illness, dis-ease, or even in substance abuse or addiction. Because when we're not living in true authenticity, we're not living in accordance with our soul. We're not living in alignment. So therefore, we're not going to feel comfortable. We're not going to feel like ourselves. Now, things are starting to change and we shouldn't be hiding ourselves anymore. We're all beautiful, beautiful creatures and we all have unique quirks. We all have uniqueness that is special to each and every one of us. And we shouldn't suppress that and we shouldn't hide it. We're putting on this mask to fit into a world that we don't belong in. We might have belonged there once, but did we ever really? Do you know what I mean? We've always put on this kind of persona to be a part of this world, but is it our world? And wouldn't it be better to live as your true self than to try and fit in somewhere that you don't actually belong? Like, have you constantly felt outcast your whole life, uncomfortable in most of your situations, around family members, around friends? Are you putting on this shield? For example, before I lived authentically, before I wasn't afraid of ridicule, before I let my freak flag fly, I used to let it fly, but only around my friends. When I was younger, I was such a quiet child. I was so shy. And I realize now that's because of my traumatic childhood. I realize now that it was my fear of rejection and abandonment. So I didn't speak up. I was too afraid to be seen or heard for fear of rejection and abandonment because I was abandoned as a child. So I remained so quiet. So as I grew up and as I became a young say 12, 13 teenager, I started to make real friends and I started to be myself in front of these people. And my friends, I used to bring out my real quirky side, my freak flag would fly. I just feel like myself around people I was comfortable with. That was the thing. When I was younger, and this happened after my toxic narcissistic relationship as well. So when I was younger and then when I was in my late 20s as well, I only spoke when I was spoken to. Because I was afraid, especially after my ex-narcissist, he got rid of all of my opinions and he he quietened me because I was afraid to speak for fear of rejection. So a lot of the time when I met somebody new, for most of my life, I would be quiet and I would wait for them to instigate a conversation. I would wait for them to approach me. I would wait for them to chat, because I was just like, as I see now, I was afraid that somebody wouldn't like me for who I was. You know, when I look back, right, when I was in secondary school, I started my first job at 15. I worked there for almost 3 years. Quiet as a mouse. You would think that I would you just think that I was this innocent, quiet mouse of a child, did her job, kept her head down, didn't speak to anyone, barely spoke to anyone on the staff for nearly 3 years. Then one of my closest friends started working there one night, and boom, real Angela exploded out of her cage. And like literally in a split second, I went from mouse Angela to real Angela because I was around my friend. And I realised, looking back, that I was afraid to be my true self in front of people. And when I did meet people, you know, at the start, I would be very, very quiet. And it would take me a long, long time to open up and let my freak flag fly in front of these people. But when they became my friends, they saw the naughty, crazy, quirky, mad, you know, eccentric side that I am, my true self. But for so many years, I was afraid to show this. And then after my, you know, and I got better and I got more confident, but I never really had the confidence to instigate conversations unless I was drunk. And I never really, you know, I was still always quite shy until I had a few drinks in me. And then after my 8-year toxic relationship, my narcissistic relationship, I went down the same road. So when I started to work again and when I started to communicate with people again, it was like, wait for them to speak to you first, because, you know, they can't reject you if you don't speak. And that's the way it was. It was a fear of rejection. It was a fear of showing my true self, fear of people not liking me. Now I let that freak flag fly. I have it fucking flying all the time. I will speak to complete strangers about my spiritual awakening, you know, because I don't care anymore if people think I'm crazy or weird, because I am crazy and weird. And being called crazy by people who are conditioned is a compliment. So therefore, I'm happy to be weird, quirky, and me. I'm happy to be me. Accept me or don't. I don't give a fuck. But like, you know, I tell people about my quirky side anyway, but like the way I see it is, you know, tell people stuff because you plant a seed. You plant a seed because if they're going through it, it'll help them as well. But I've learned how to be me. I've learned that I don't give a shit what people think. I love my personality. I love who I am. So therefore, I'm going to show that no matter what. I'm going to put my crazy on the table, take it or leave it. But when we hide who we are, when we put that mask up, when we put that shield up, it takes us away from our true essence. You know, and that's heartbreaking, because we are all beautiful people, as I've said, and we all have a special side to us. We're all unique in our own little ways. And we should express that. You know, when we're going through awakening, especially, like, you know, what I've discovered is that I've always been that weird, quirky side person, but I have spent time around people who weren't my people. Do you know? And now and like, as you spiritual awakening, these people fall away and you kind of become your true self, and you realize that environment wasn't for you anyway. But a lot of the times we keep on this persona for work, for family members, do you know, for certain friends. Like, have a look at your life. Are you all the time? Are you the same you in front of your boss? Are you the same you in front of your parents? And are you the same you in front of your friends? And see what kind of what answers you get, because you're usually somebody different in front of everyone. And like, you know, that's to be expected, I suppose, when it comes to your parents and stuff. But like, you know, I got to the stage where I was fucking weird in front of my family as well, because I was like, I'm just going to be me. And, you know, that's fine. And like, you know, I just decided to let my freak flag fly no matter what. You know, I'd be at sessions and parties and people would come back for the house party. And I would literally, I would enhance the crazy just to freak people out. But, you know, it's fun. You know, it's just fun to be real. And I know we have to put on certain personas in front of our boss. But ask yourself this. Would you not rather be in a situation in all aspects of your life, with friends, family, and work, where you are you all the time, where you got to be you all the time, and didn't fear being rejected or being, not being accepted, and a lot of the times we're afraid to be our quirky, weird selves because of our family's beliefs, religious beliefs or whatever. We're afraid to speak our truth or have a voice because we're like, we can't upset the status quo. We can't upset the parents. We can't upset the friends. We can't upset other people's choices. But you have choices and opinions as well. And you have every right to voice those. And if people don't accept them, that's their fucking problem, not yours. You know what I mean? We're hiding behind this mask. We're hiding behind this shell. And it will get uncomfortable. If it's not uncomfortable already, it's going to get uncomfortable. When we hide stuff in our shadow, when we suppress parts of who we truly are, this will start to react. It starts to become unbalanced. And I've spoken about the shadow aspect before. The shadow in ourselves is like a child. It just wants to be, it wants attention, it wants to be seen, and it wants to be played with. It wants you to befriend it. And if you ignore your shadow, if you ignore a child, they will keep pulling on your arm until you listen. And if you don't fucking listen, they're going to throw a tantrum and they're going to fucking throw everything into the shit. And when we have an unbalanced shadow, your shadow is where you hide parts of yourself, your true self. When that shadow is unbalanced, it will come out in unhealthy ways. It'll come out in anger, it'll come out in frustration, it'll come out in, eruptions. It will come out on unhealthy ways of living. It will come out in ways, we'll try and distract ourselves from the truth by drinking, doing drugs, this kind of stuff. We need to pay attention to what we're hiding from ourselves even and from this world. We're putting on this mask to fit into a society that doesn't belong to us anymore or never fucking belonged to us. And we were brainwashed into believing that was what we wanted or who we were. We have to start living authentically, being our true selves, because this is what is beautiful. You get to be you all the time. And that's the beauty of starting your own business or going after your life purpose. You don't have to pretend you're something you're not in front of your fucking boss or your workmates, because you are your boss. You get to let your freak flag fly throughout your business. And actually that's the beauty of it. Bringing authenticity into your business or into your purpose. That's what makes it more beautiful. And being yourself in front of your family, it's a great way. What I love about being my weird self is that it's a great way to help others be weird. You know what I mean? We should all be weird. I love it. We should, me being my authentic self will help the next person be their authentic self. Me letting my freak flag fly lets the next person be themselves and let their freak flag fly. You know what I mean? We're this fear of rejection, this fear of persecution, and I know it comes from past lives as well. It took me a long time to overcome that fear and to use my voice and to be my authentic self all the time. And, we're just afraid of that rejection and ridicule. We're afraid to hurt people as well. But our authenticity shouldn't hurt others. What I'm saying is, we're afraid to upset our parents or the status quo, but they should accept us for who we are. So their upset is their shit to heal. Any trigger is a guide to what is within you to heal. So if you trigger somebody else by your authenticity, that means it's something within them that they're suppressing. And that's the thing with triggers. A lot of the time we're triggered because there's a person is a reflection of us, and there's something in that person that we're hiding within ourselves, in our shadow. So therefore, if we actually do trigger people by our authenticity, it's actually just showing them that they want to be authentic as well. So us being weird lets other people be weird. Us being real lets other people be real. And, when we're not in authentic living, as I said, if we suppress parts of ourselves in our shadow, this will come back in unhealthy ways, but it will lead to dis-ease within the body as well. It will lead to anxiety and depression. And this is where I believe mental health stems from, is the fact that we're not living in alignment with our soul. and that our soul is screaming, our intuition is screaming at us to fucking be real, break out of that fucking box, burn the fucking box, and be our true authentic selves, live in alignment with our soul, follow our life purpose, be who we were always meant to be. And this is so important because that will lead to balanced life, healthy mind, healthy body, healthy soul. And isn't that what we want? You know, we're making ourselves ill by being someone we're not. You know, by not trying to upset people. Like, we're jeopardizing our physical and mental health by being inauthentic, just to make other people happy. But we're here for more. We're here to show our real selves. We're here to be weird. We're here to be real. You know, and this will help others be real as well. And the people that are still stuck in that box, hopefully they will start to see that they can be themselves as well, and hopefully start to change. But we're here to change more than just our surroundings and more than just our environment. If our people in our environment don't want to be weird with us and don't want to come with us on this journey, we have to leave them behind. We're here to share our freak flags with the rest of the world. We're here to share our authenticity with the rest of the world. So ask yourself, are you wearing a mask all the time? Are you being yourself? Are you different around all these people? Are you real in front of anyone in your life? Ask yourself that question. Is there any time in your life where you get to be your weirdest self, your truest self, your most authentic self? Because if like in every aspect of your life, you have to wear a mask, you have to be hiding yourself, then something has to change. If you can't be your real self around people, around anyone in your life, something has to change. You need to start living authentically. You take that mask off. Be yourself. Be weird. Be real. Because that's what we want to see. Authenticity is fucking beautiful. It's crazy. It's eccentric. It's wild. It's free. It's fucking beautiful. So stop putting on these masks to fit into the world that doesn't exist anymore. This is a false society. This negative, this 3D lack society, this false society. Stop pretending to be something you're not. Stop trying to fit into these places anymore, because they're just no longer, they were never in alignment with your soul, but they're really not in alignment with your soul. And if you continue to be inauthentic, you're going to see that happen with obstacles, challenges, disease within your body, your mind and your soul. You're going to feel unwell. Your life is going to feel turbulent. Your body is going to feel unhealthy because you're not living authentically. Face what's inside you. Don't be hiding parts of yourself, because they're the parts we want to see. They're the parts that are beautiful. We want to see real. Fuck the mask. Take the fucking mask off. Stop pretending to be something you're not. Because what you're pretending to be is it's icky anyway. You're trying to fit into a world that's false, that's full of lies, hate, greed. You know, do you really want to be in that world? Do you really want to be that person you're pretending to be like? Do you want to, fit into that world anymore? Ask yourself that. Your true self isn't the person you're pretending to be around these people. And is there, that's the biggest question. Is there any part of your life where you're getting to take off that mask and be yourself? Is there anyone in your life that you can be your weird, true, authentic self with? Because if it's the case where you're wearing a mask all the time, it's time to look deep within. It's time to see what you really want. What do you want? Who do you want to be? Who are you? Who are you really underneath that mask? Because it's so beautiful to discover those true parts of ourselves and to actually be who we are supposed to be, who we want to be, who we really are, rather than what society or our family, our friends, our work or our environment wants us to be. Do you really want to fit into that world? Or do you want to be your true authentic self? Don't be afraid to be weird. Don't be afraid to be different. And don't be afraid to let that freak flag fly. Your uniqueness is what makes you special. And if you haven't got people in your life that accept you the way you are, you need to get new people. And that's a fact. Because you deserve to shine. You deserve to show your true self. So, take off that mask and show us who you really are. Show the world who you really are. And live authentically. And live in truth. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you would like help on your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and I would love nothing more than to help you on your path.